This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I am one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week? It's the week of Christmas.
Yeah, and look at me, I'm delighted.
Yeah, well, it's the week. It's Christmas has already happened. We've already opened all our presents. You know, if you're worried about present spoilers, yeah, be worried because they're going to be coming hot and heavy.
What was your haul like?
My haul was good. I got like either stuff I needed or fun stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, me too.
Yeah. My lovely wife got me tickets to a magic show.
Ooh, what magic show?
Oh, I don't have the name of it, but yeah, one of these like small theater ones in New York. I have to like, dress up and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
do you have to go to some hotel room?
I think it's at a club. This one.
Okay. I went to one where we had to go to a hotel room and I had to wear a suit.
Yeah, I remember that. This sounds like it's a very similar. I assume this club is owned by some head of the mob or something like that, and
Yeah.
We'll be.
Do you need a password to get in?
Hopefully, and hopefully this magician tells it to us. But I didn't even ask for tickets to a magic show.
Wow.
Well, my wife knows me. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get tickets to a magic show, but Tom, you know what I did do? I went to something almost as good as a magic show.
What's that?
I went to a basketball game, and you're probably thinking, yeah, basketball games are a dime a dozen, just a bunch of boring basketball players.
Uh-huh.
Nope. I went to the Harlem Globetrotters, Tom.
Wow. The best basketball team in the world.
They're the best basketball team in the world. If you don't know about the Harlem Globetrotters, they're funny.
Yeah, and
they
too
play
good
basketball,
at basketball
and they do bits
to be in the NBA or anywhere else.
Is that the premise? They're too good.
I mean, they're always so much better than the Senators that they're playing against.
The Generals, the Washington Generals.
The Generals, sorry.
They always play the Washington Generals. Now, when I went in 1988 or whatever. When I first saw, I was very upset, Tom, to see that Curly was no longer with the squad.
From the Three Stooges?
No, Curly Neal.
He was a basketball player.
Yeah, his name was Curly, but he was bald. Much like Curly. Yeah,
yeah, a lot like Curly from the Three Stooges.
Yeah. I was very surprised that he also passed away 4 years ago. So
what?
Curly.
Some kind of basketball-related accident?
Curly from the Three Stooges died 100 years ago.
Curly from the Three Stooges died after he made like 3 Three Stooges movies.
Hey, that vaudeville, that hard-living vaudeville life.
I mean, it's true.
But no, Tom, when I used to go to the Harlem Globetrotters when I was a kid.
You had season tickets.
They'd beat the Washington Generals by 75 points every game.
Yeah.
Tom, this year it was close.
Oh no, they're getting better, the Generals.
Like the whole thing was just like between a 2 and 4 point game, and a lot of the time the Generals were. It was just like watching a regular basketball game.
Except one team was fun to watch, and the other was like just playing boring basic plays.
Yeah, and in my memory, all the I thought the Washington Generals were just like these hapless goofs who couldn't shoot
running
straight
into each other. And...
Yeah, no, they were just as good as those Globetrotters. So
wow.
Yeah, they just didn't do a lot of funny bits. But Tom, you go to the Harlem Globetrotters. Do you know about the Harlem Globetrotters?
I mean, I don't know what do you want me to name 5 people on the team? Like, how well
but also keep in mind that Curly isn't there anymore.
Shit. And here I am in my head thinking I only have to come up with 4 names because, of course, I know Curly's on the team.
No, but you know that it's not a real basketball game.
Yeah,
and they stop playing to do jokes and
it's like professional wrestling.
Yeah. Well, these two like women, probably like almost our age, sitting behind me at the game, did not know that. And every time they like stopped the the proceedings to like run around with a bucket of water and like threaten
Right.
to throw it on each other, and then they throw it on the crowd, and it's not water, it's confetti. Every time something like that happened, these women were gasping and just going like, what is going on here, and like cackling and being like,
Is no
what?
one paying attention to the shot clock?
Yeah. And like it didn't raise like any alarm bells when like you're all mic'd up on the court like when they
Yeah.
talk, and
Well,
they all
that's a
address the
standard thing
crowd
they do.
constantly. Yeah. These ladies, they were dumb. And then at the end I was like, I think they were moms, but I think they were like moms like that type of mom that is like, oh, you were like a club lady, and
Oh.
they a rich man tried to domesticate you, but he couldn't. So now you're like like you happen to have these kids, but like you're still like you're not like qualified to be a mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you like somehow missed the life experience to understand like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah,
Like
or like most.
you had other stuff going on, and you
Yeah,
couldn't be bothered to learn about the wide world of sports entertainment.
yeah, and I don't think they like interacted with their children at all who were there. They were just like
Yeah.
interacting with each other and talking about how like this one guy on the Washington Generals was real hot.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, and I mean, and she's probably thinking, oh boy, if they win the game, maybe I'll try and see if
yeah,
he wants to come out and celebrate with me. Meanwhile, no, idiot, they're not going to win the game. He's going to be
they never
depressed
win.
after the game. Him and the rest of the generals are going to be so mad that they
Well, actually,
lost
no,
again.
they had like another game like an hour after this one ended.
Oh, but yeah, so
Two
forget
shows a
it.
day. Um,
He's playing a doubleheader. He's going to lose both games. He's not going to be in the mood to go out.
One thing that really surprised me, and then we could move on to more serious topics, Tom. Deathly
Yeah.
serious
Well,
topics.
before we move on to say your bit, but before we move on to more serious topics, I have more magician stuff to talk about.
Okay, cool. Um,
And
there's a
it's
lot
actually
less.
related to the Three Stooges as well.
So we have two topics we could talk about at any given time. A lot less spinning the ball on their finger as there used to be.
Oh. Now,
There's
why do you
still a
think
lot
that
of
is?
spinning the
Because
ball
of.
on the. There was a lot of it.
Oh,
There's
okay.
still a
But
lot, but like I remember that being like 90% of the game of the show.
yeah. Yeah, I mean that's just like a great go-to if you can spin a
Yeah.
ball on your finger for a really long time. That's fun to watch.
Yeah. They could do it, but
I
they just didn't. They deployed it infrequently.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's you don't want to overuse it.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
think I'd like to learn how to like spin a ball on my finger for a really long time. That always seems like a cool thing to do.
I'd love to be able to do anything with a basketball that demonstrated proficiency. Yeah.
But like if I was really good at spinning a basketball, I would be able to just like go to any basketball court and go, "Hey, anybody want to play a quick game?" And then I would spin the ball like a really long time on my finger,
Right.
and they wouldn't know that I'm not good at basketball,
Yeah,
but
but what
they would
happens if they said like, yeah, you
I
would just
would
like rely on the ball spinning for so
I
long
would
that you would never have to
I
actually
would
start the
say,
game?
yeah, well, once the ball finishes spinning, then we'll be able to play.
How long are you thinking it's going to stay spinning on your
Well,
finger?
I'm going to be spinning it with my hands
Oh,
still.
you're going to keep doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
but I won't I
Well,
would
wouldn't they just say like, okay, stop doing that then?
you know
Stop
what
continuing to spin it.
I honestly I'd play dumb and I'd pretend like I don't know what they're talking about. I
And there's
hope.
something you aspire to. This is like,
well, hopefully it doesn't come to that, Tim. What I'm hoping is that when I say, "Hey, you guys want to play ball," and then I spin it really long, they'll run off the court. They'll be so afraid to play against me because they'll think I'm so good. So hopefully it will never come to.
What's your end game here? So you scared all these men off the court and ladies.
Uh-huh.
So what
then,
end?
then I can go a basketball court all to myself.
Yeah, a guy could get used to that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I practice some layups or something.
Yeah, you put the ball down on the ground like a pillow and go to sleep.
Yeah, take a nap, and then
finally some peace and quiet down here at the courts.
Yeah, and then when other people show up and they're like, "Hey, old man, like, get off the court. We want to play." I'll go, "Well, I'll play you for it," and then I'll spin the ball on my finger again, and
run
they'll
off
think
screaming.
twice. They'll think twice about taking me on one. Tim, but my magic related thing that I was going to tell you is that I was in Pennsylvania over Christmas.
Pennsylvania?
No, you always think that I say that, Tim, and I would never go somewhere so scary for Christmas.
Yeah.
Maybe for Halloween. Sure,
yeah.
Halloween.
Well, oh my
you
God,
might find me in Transylvania. But,
terrifying.
We were eating at this restaurant. It was a Mexican restaurant that reminded me of Don Ricardo's from Babylon Village.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I like this. I'm happy about this. Well, I'm already sitting there thinking this is great. I love this. When all of a sudden I notice a man in a sequin jacket walking from table to table. And I say to myself, well, that's either the owner or a magician. And Tim, it was indeed.
Why not both?
It could have been both, but it was a magician at least.
Because remember, the proprietor of the Max himself, was a restaurant owner / magician. Were you at the Max?
No, I wasn't. I wish I was at the Max. I wasn't at the Max, but you're right, Tim. And that's probably where this person got the idea to either own a restaurant or become a magician. But this guy's only going to tables with kids, not tables with like overly eager looking men in their 40s.
That's crap.
Yeah.
Was he doing
and here's the tie-in, Tim, and this is why it's crap, because I'm listening to this guy's patter, his magical patter, and I'm like, this guy, he's going to kids. His opener is going, hey, you kids know the Three Stooges? No, these kids don't know the Three Stooges nowadays.
Wait, why was that his opener?
He was doing the ball and cup trick, and I think he named the balls like low Mary and Curly. That's a game I like to play with friends. All right, you have to out of the three, low, Mary, or Curly. Mo, Larry, and Curly, he called the balls, and then he's like, and I think he expected a laugh from that and didn't get one, so he's like, "Oh,
were you at the next table going like, ha?"
Which one's Curly Joe? Where's Shemp? Forget you kids. This guy sounds like he really knows what's going on. I'm gonna go talk to him.
He knows the Stooges.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my magic tricks for a more appreciative audience.
So he never came by.
But yeah, no, he never came by our table, so I didn't get to see. I didn't get to see what his tricks really looked like. If they were decent or not.
You know what? He must not have been a good magician. If he only has the confidence to perform in front of children, his tricks aren't his skills aren't ready for prime time.
That's what I thought. That was like, this guy. Yeah, he's probably asking if they know Mo, Larry, and Curly as like just a general. How smart are these kids?
Yeah. If they know their shit, like, oh no, these kids have seen some stuff. They're not going to be impressed.
Yeah, these kids have lived a little bit. They're going to be able to rumble what's going on here, where I'm secretly putting these little foam balls. But yeah, so that was a bummer. It ruined Christmas, to be honest with you. And I'm back here with Tim. Tim, it's the end of the year.
Sure is, Tom.
And what a year it was.
What a year it was. 2024. Hey, that's one for the record books.
Yeah. Do you have this happen with years where like, and I feel like it happens more and more as you get older. Like at the end of the year, it's like let's look back, and you're like, I have no idea what happened this year. And then you watch something about what happened. You're like, that was this year.
Yeah. I don't know. I just stopped paying. You know what? I'm sick of, because I think everybody's going to be like, what a bad year. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm sick of everybody thinking a year is bad just because a bunch of terrible, objectively terrible things happened constantly the whole year, relentlessly.
Yeah.
I guess that makes it a bad year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember, like, it's hard to remember before, I don't know, everybody got depressed all at once.
When did that happen?
I mean, like going before the pandemic, or it was starting before the pandemic for sure.
Yeah.
Like you could probably pinpoint it to like when everybody started getting smartphones. Like it just got progressively worse and worse. And then like certain things accelerated it. But like, I'm trying to think back, like, in like 2005, were there things like 2005, what a fucking awesome year?
I think
like we all remember all these cool things that happened.
I think they were like Betty White alive and well.
Not even that old yet.
All the Golden Girls are still alive.
Yeah,
and will be forever.
I mean, I get like, because I had a little bit of a tough time going through like different year end lists, because so many of them are just talking about like the biggest news stories, and like the biggest news stories, especially when there are multiple active wars happening around the world, aren't like fun, they aren't exciting, lighthearted stories.
What about sickos think that stuff's fun?
I try and stay away from the sicko net, where all the sickos talk about all the stuff they like. But I found stuff that was like that is not as depressing, I guess. But even that stuff, it's kind of like, yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It's stuff like the Olympics, where it's like, yeah, the Olympics were cool, the Olympics were fun, but like that wasn't something particular to this year. Like the Olympics, whenever they happened.
The Olympics happened in 2024. It was particular to this year.
Yeah,
it happened in Paris.
But I'm saying, like, every time the Olympics happen, for the most part, unless there's like a tragedy or they, it's screwed up like they were during the pandemic, where they had to like do them a year late. Like, unless that's going on, the Olympics are always a good time.
Am I misremembering the 1996? It was Atlanta Olympics.
Yeah.
When the bomb went off, right? And everybody thought Richard Jewell did it.
Yeah. Not Clint Eastwood.
Am I misremembering in that, like, I remember that being like, oh man, that happened. Anyway, back to the Olympics. Like that wasn't even like the big story of the Olympics that year.
Yeah, no, it was like, I remember, because I think I was watching the Olympics like when it happened, or I was watching TV and they switched over to it, because it was like not late at night, but it was later at night, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen the film.
I want to say it was like, I don't know, like 10:30 or something at night, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I think it was, I don't know, maybe it was after 9/11 when like just terrorism became
Yeah.
such a big focal point, and we see that even now with the drones and Luigi Mangione, like all these other stories where it's like, yeah, there's just kind of like the attention doesn't leave. It
Right.
doesn't go like, all right, well, something happened. That thing is kind of crazy, but what more is there to say about it now? So
Right.
rather than, just speculate on the news 24 hours a day, we're going to go back to other things that are
Yeah, there's
news.
track and field events happening. People are
Yeah.
swimming in the pool.
Yeah. I think it was more just that, I don't know,
Basketball game.
maybe when like crazy things happened, there was just more of a tendency to be like, well, we'll have to wait to find out why that happened. But
Yeah.
until then, we're not just going to endlessly speculate.
Is it that, or were we just 14 years old, and like we just weren't plugged into that discourse?
Um, Excuse me. I mean, I'm sure that's part of it, but I don't think it was like that big of it, because I think most people, I mean, the news wasn't around so much. And I just think like our parents, like as adults at that time, that they were probably like, oh, wow, that's crazy, but that doesn't affect my day to day life. So
Yeah.
I don't need to consume, 10 hours a week about it.
Yeah. The other thing is, like they used to have like op-eds in the newspaper and stuff the way that they do now. But like,
Yeah.
when did like quote unquote think pieces become a thing? Because I feel like that like people like read a lot more like opinions on the news these days, which is like
Yeah.
why are you doing that? Why are we all doing that? Why don't we just watch TV shows? Why don't we just watch must see TV like we did in 1996? Well,
Yeah.
something incomprehensible or scary happened. Yep, time to turn on Mad About You. Oh, let's see what
Yeah.
Paul and Jamie are up to this week.
I guess it's just that like, yeah, I don't know, it's easier to tune stuff out. But I mean, that's also the case. Like, we both know people that like just don't pay attention to the news, and they're, you know, not
Happier
not
than
they're what?
happier than us.
Oh yeah, happier, and not like in a like, oh, I don't like, I hate the news, I threw my TV out the window, but just like, I don't know, they've got other stuff going on, so they're just
Yeah,
not really like paying super close attention to everything on the news, and that's fine too.
yeah.
Uh,
Sometimes if Jay Leno goes, "You guys see this? You hear about this?" These people
yeah,
say, "No, I haven't seen
yeah.
this. I haven't heard about that, Jay. Thanks for telling me, and thanks for telling me in such a lighthearted way, finding the humor in it."
Did you know? Did you hear about Jay Leno's recent appearance on Club Random, Tim?
Yeah, I've heard about your recent appearance on Clubber. What do you think? I live
Yeah,
in a goddamn cave.
yeah, I heard about it from listening to Club Random the second it dropped.
Uh,
I
Jay
was
Leno,
reading
I
that.
gotta say, not looking so hot these days. Was this
Well,
before or after he fell down that hill?
well, it was after he fell down that hill, but apparently, Bill Maher brought up, which I had not heard, but it's funny that it exists, that there are conspiracy theories that Jay Leno owes a lot of money to the mob because he's a gambler. And all these stories are just ridiculous covers for like the mob beating the shit out of him. But from what I read, it was kind of funny because then Jay Leno was like, "Oh yeah, the mob's gonna come find me in Pittsburgh at the Hampton Inn and beat me up and then throw me down the hill." And apparently, Bill Maher had to be like, "Oh no, 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 that's not what they're saying. They're saying that that's bullshit. That you made that up. That they just beat you up normal."
But I mean, Jay Leno famously didn't touch his Tonight Show money. If he owes bookies some money, he owes a lot of money because he has like, like it's like
Well,
three hundred and fifty million dollars in the bank, just sitting in
yeah,
like a Chase savings account.
that was basically his response. And he was like, I mean, why wouldn't I just give them like one of my hundreds of very expensive cars. Like, how would I have all those, but they've beat me up 3 times? And I'm just allowing this to continue. And one of the times they like threw hot oil on my face. But I'm sitting there going, nah, I'm sorry, you can't have the Model T. I like that one. I like tooling around in it. Hey, everybody in Burbank, they love seeing me.
A great conversation between 2 great men.
Me and you?
Yeah.
You're just taking a second to acknowledge it.
You know what? They should put a commercial in that Club Random episode. Hey, you like this conversation? There's essentially this an equal conversation happening every week between Tim and Tom.
Well, why would
this show is a lot like the Bill Maher and Jay Leno talking.
Yeah,
well,
if you wish Jay Leno was on every episode of Club Random, and that was just the show. We should change our description in Apple Podcasts and just say that to describe our show. And we won't explain which one of us is which. Just,
yeah, well,
hey, did you ever wish Jay Leno was on every episode of Club Random? Let me tell you about a show called The Complete Guide to Everything.
That'll scratch that itch.
Because that's basically what it is.
All right.
What other?
2024.
All right. So that was one of the big stories of 2024. Jay Leno going on Club Random.
Tom, a lot of these we did episodes about. I tell you,
we've got our fingers on the pulse.
Can I tell you Tim's regret of the year?
Sure. What was it?
My regret for the year, Tom, and then I expect you to reciprocate with your regret of the year. Not taking that eclipse seriously. I was like, oh, these people are looking to go watch this eclipse, this solar eclipse. Bunch of telling you, hey, get a job, you weirdos.
Right.
Then it happened.
Yeah,
it seemed like it brought
a lot
joy.
of people did quit their job for it.
Yeah, like years in advance. But just to prepare. But like that was a thing where like everybody decided to stop being depressed and cynical all the time and just enjoy like a natural thing. And the way I enjoyed it was by being like, oh shit, yeah, okay. And like going to get a coffee, walking to the coffee shop and being like, I don't have like a thing to look at the eclipse through. So I'll just look at some other people who are looking at the eclipse.
Yeah, I mean I don't
Other
know when
people went to like remote cabins and stuff. Yeah. No, the next one's not gonna like likely of that magnitude, likely not happening in our lifetime in like this area.
Well, would you travel next time though? Now that you screwed up.
Probably not, because it's not. It won't be in like the zeitgeist where I am, the way that this one was, right? Where like my community and my friends and my family were all talking about it, and I was just a little stinker in the corner, being like, "You guys are all losers."
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what you do about everything that's popular. Everything that's
not
popular
true,
or that people like.
That's not true, Tom.
Or that people think they'll enjoy, and you go, "You're not going to enjoy that."
Give me one. Give me one example besides.
And then when they do, you go, "Ah, damn! I wish I had enjoyed that."
All right, what's your regret of the year?
My regret of the year? I don't know if I necessarily have a regret of the year. I did take things like that seriously.
No, you didn't. What did you do for the well, not literally, but seriously. What did you do for the eclipse?
I mean, I got a pair of glasses in advance so I could look at it, but I didn't travel. But I'm just saying, like, I don't have any regrets about it. Because even though I know I could have traveled and gotten a better experience if I drove a few hours away or whatever, I don't care that much. I'm sure it would have been cool. I'm sure I wouldn't have regretted doing it, but like, I don't know. I got to see it. I thought it was neat.
You're the Bill Maher of this.
I mean, I don't know which one's worse to be. So,
Bill Maher.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. It scratched enough of an itch for me seeing it that
Okay.
way.
Sure. All right. Fine.
No.
No regrets from Tom.
Well, but at the same time, I've heard from people who traveled to see it, and they said like, it's indescribable, that it was so much different. I fully believe that too.
Great. That sounded very condescending. I fully believe that. I fully believe that you thought that.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that like I don't want people who traveled or whatever thinking that I don't like that. I'm thinking, oh, that's stupid. You shouldn't have done that. Like I got basically the same experience. I'm sure they got a much better experience.
Right. But you were too cool to do it. And remain too cool. You wouldn't do it again because they're losers and you're cool.
I mean, at least I could look at the sun, Tim. I didn't have to just look at other people squinting.
I know. And Tom, there's my regret of the year. You have no regrets about anything.
No. Although it was cool even just walking around with it like, weird. Like it was like a shadow world for a few minutes.
Yeah.
So that was neat. I like that.
The eclipse. Hey, the eclipse. When was that? April? I got my list of things that happened in 2024. I pulled them from a Dave Barry column where he was doing the year in review. What?
You have Dave Barry do all your research for this show.
I do.
Every week you just come in with Dave Barry's latest column, and that's what you've got to talk about. That's why this show never stays on topic, because you've only got whatever Dave Barry talked about that week. You've got to redirect to.
You know what I'd like to see? Dave Barry on Club Random.
Oh wow!
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got? What?
Then I would like to see a podcast that would be described as, do you wish Dave Barry was on Club Random every week? Well, you're going to love this show.
That's more accurate to this show, and I'm the Dave Barry, and you're Bill Maher.
That's not true, but anyway. Well, on my list, Tim, of big things that happened, I was reading about a lot of big space stuff that happened.
Okay.
So there was the first commercial spacewalk, the first non-astronaut, like just a rich guy that paid money.
Right.
Although in this case, I don't know. It says entrepreneur Jared Isaacman conducted the first commercial spacewalk. I think it might have been like his company or something, though. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But he's still a rich guy, probably.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying, I don't think money bought this being the first in this case. I think it was like, well, this guy said, hey, I made this thing. I get to do it.
Yeah. Well, he probably didn't make it, but
it's crazy because it's just like a capsule and everybody has to put on their spacesuits because there's no airlock or anything. And then they go, all right, like we'll depressurize everything and now we'll open up the door. And then they open up the door and everybody just kind of one at a time got to go out like up to their waist. And man, that must be
up to their waist.
Yeah.
So there's
but that must be terrifying still.
Yeah. Sure.
Just to kind of stick half your body out into space.
My question is why? Why would you do that? And hey, maybe this is me being cynical or too cool, but like, it just seems like not worth the risk.
Tim's top regrets of 2025. I should have stuck half my body out that space capsule when everybody else is doing it.
I should have gone into that tin can that was trying to go see the Titanic.
I mean, these are much different things, and this is way, way safer. I mean, I'm sure by no means like safe, but a lot safer than that Titanic sub.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, they are. You can just read about it, and I mean, it costs a lot more money to make these things, and they've exploded less often.
Yeah. Well, this is why I've long said this time. I'm way more afraid of under the sea than I am of the space.
Because of the creatures.
Because of the creatures, because of the pressure.
And space you don't like. There's no pressure at all, so you're like, oh, I've got on easy street, no pressure.
Exactly. Just take it easy up there. Relax.
And then the other space story, this is one I hadn't really been following, but I kept like hearing about on the news, but I guess it fell into that like category of this doesn't really affect me, so I don't care. That there are two astronauts stuck on the space station.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't realize that. I think they're technically Boeing employees.
Yeah, bad year for Boeing. And
yeah,
let me tell you, Dave Barry took note of that in his
They flew up in a Boeing Starliner capsule for a round trip that was supposed to last just over a week. But they've been stuck for close to a year now.
Yeah, they don't have the ability to like there's no like airlock system, right? We've been saying airlock a lot, but like there's no way to send something up there and like get them from where they are onto something that can get them back to Earth.
Oh, is that what the problem is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, they should have thought about that before they went up there.
That stinks. Have they gotten mad yet?
No, but I did see like one picture of at least like the woman that it looks like she, over the course of, I don't know, 9 months or whatever it's been, lost like a tremendous amount of weight. And this was not somebody, this is an astronaut. This is somebody who is like already in good shape to begin with.
Right.
And just like, I don't know, looked a lot older. I feel like her hair like all went gray or whatever. And NASA had to be like, no, that picture, that's fine. That's normal. That's what somebody who's happy to be in space looks like.
That's the like everybody has been talking about this story like it's some like whimsical thing. It's the most terrifying thing. I feel so horrible for these people. Hey, it's like it's a modern day Gilligan's Island is what it is.
It really is. They thought they were going on a 3-hour tour.
Yeah. But being in space, like they are do they have like an estimate of when they're going to be able to get them?
I think that there is supposed to be a like SpaceX capsule going up soon to get them.
Right.
Because it sounds like that was basically a like, that's a real embarrassment for Boeing that a different company has to go save their employees. So I think maybe they've been trying to, be like, no, we don't need to do that. Just 5 more minutes. Let's keep working on our capsule.
Right. And they said privatizing space travel would end in disaster.
Yeah. We're now, they've just got 2 employees stuck on a space station. They're probably like, we're not going to pay you for this time. We said no more work from home. You guys haven't been to the office. But yeah, and I'm sure this was the kind of thing where like when they went through all the worst case scenarios, like it was never this, like a bunch of things went wrong. I'm sure it was never and if the rocket doesn't work, we'll come back in a year and get you. I'm sure there were other plans that for one reason or another did not go through.
At some point, and I'm in all seriousness, would you have shot yourself off into space? I would have just opened up the thing and been like, okay, that's it for me.
I thought you meant like
wait for a year. Oh no,
Me
you would
right
go out there and
now.
like figure it out. You,
Yeah,
God damn it, the Boeing
you're
won't
like,
do.
would
I'll
you have
do what they want.
shot yourself off into space? I'm like, what? I don't have the ability to shoot myself off into space. This
Nah,
whole time, if you thought it was just because I didn't want to,
if you were stuck up there for a year, you'd be like, okay, enough of this. I'm opening the door. That
I
would be a
don't.
like. I don't want to die ever, and I know that like it's
Yeah,
probably good to like die old and in a bed surrounded by your loved ones. But wouldn't it be
yeah.
cool to just like go off into space and just pop?
You don't pop though. You just kind of freeze.
Okay, do that.
Like you stay conscious for probably at least a minute.
All right.
I don't know. I think that'd probably be pretty
You'd
terrifying.
be a
I think
hero.
I would. I think I'd probably just keep waiting for them to come get me back before I shot
The
myself off.
Christ.
I bet that's also part of the screening for astronauts. That they make sure that the first sign of trouble, you're not going to open up the fucking door and kill everyone.
I mean, I would figure out a way to make it just myself, ideally.
Because it's
But
not
they've
like
seen what a good idea it is and follow me out, right? Like, what are they in? Like, how big is like,
I
is
mean, I
the
think it's
station?
probably pretty small. It's probably the size of like a couple of cargo vans tied together.
Yeah. Ah, no, I'd shoot myself off into space. Freeze or pop or whatever's gonna happen to me is gonna happen.
I mean, if there's no airlock, they can't shoot themselves unless they both decide to shoot themselves into space.
There is an airlock. I don't know.
Yeah, you've been lying, Tim. You've been holding out this whole time. You should call NASA. Call Boeing.
Dom
There
in
is an airlock. I designed it with a secret airlock in mind
No,
in
I
just
think
this kind of
I think it was a
situation.
matter of like they couldn't connect to the airlock or something with the other thing. Look, I think
I think you were thinking of Interstellar. I think that happens in Interstellar.
maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interstellar, Tom. Hey, this is something that happened in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Interstellar had a stellar year at the box office. They re-released it in IMAX and all the screenings sold out. People couldn't get
Yeah.
enough of that movie.
Yeah. I didn't go see it, but I would have liked to have.
Yeah. I would like to see that
I
movie. I
do.
didn't give it a fair shake when I first saw it.
I mean, I do like and think it's cool that, like, apparently a lot of the theaters, Interstellar came out 10 years ago, and a lot of theaters still had their IMAX prints.
Oh,
So
really?
they were
They don't have
able
to
to
give
just
them
kind of
back?
like, I think they do, but I think it's also the kind of thing where they're like big and heavy. So maybe there's just not like, they're not anxious to get them back. Or maybe I'm wrong, but like the print, maybe the theaters didn't have them, but the prints still existed.
Right.
So they didn't have to. I don't know. Maybe they did make some new prints, but apparently, like a lot of theaters, they were able to just use old prints, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. They should do stuff like that more. Like you film something in IMAX, you go through all this trouble. Like, yeah, offer the ability to see it. Because I remember, like when we went and saw Oppenheimer, like it took us weeks because we wanted to see it in IMAX because it's like this whole thing was shot in IMAX. That's the way you want to see it. And if I don't see it now, I don't know if I'll ever have a chance to see it this way.
Yeah. What's the deal when you go to an IMAX theater and then it's not
Mm-hmm.
even all big when you watch it?
Yeah, I think there is like technical like details that it is like they don't market it as a different format, but it is a different format. I'm not 100% sure.
Because what I'm
Or
saying,
like
instead
it
of
is the same format, but it's just not a big enough screen for it.
yeah, I don't know. It's just like I feel like IMAX movie theaters,
Mm-hmm.
they're not thinking big enough. Ironically,
Yeah.
they're like we got these these big movies, right? Like Interstellar, Oppenheimer. What else is filmed in like really big IMAX stuff? I don't know, other stuff, right?
I mean, like most of Christopher Nolan stuff.
Yeah, they should just be showing that
Uh,
stuff
that,
constantly, all the time. And then like it's like, oh, but
yeah,
we got to show like I don't know some like new Marvel movie that isn't even shot in IMAX, but we're gonna put it like small in the middle of the IMAX screen. No, don't do that.
yeah,
Just show Interstellar again. People go see that.
yeah.
I should run
I went
IMAX.
to, I went to. I
I,
was telling you
I can't
before.
name more than two movies in that were made in IMAX format, and they're the two that you mentioned earlier. But I should run that whole endeavor.
Get in there day one. Why are we showing Interstellar? Why aren't we showing Oppenheimer? Um, I went and saw Nosferatu
Oh yeah,
this past week while I was in Pennsylvania. And first off, this is the second movie I've seen in Pennsylvania. I saw Wicked in Pennsylvania over
ooh,
Thanksgiving weekend. And I don't think they heat the movie theaters in Pennsylvania. The movie theater both times was freezing.
they just want to juice hot cocoa sales.
That I mean, Tim, that's kind of what it seemed like. And also, I mean, I forget if I told you about this off the show or not, but it was also insane because it was like a 10:30 showing, and the bar was open. Uh, but also there was a sign by the concession stand for DoorDash drivers to pick like a designated pickup
Right.
area. I was like, what on earth? People are ordering what AMC hot dogs through DoorDash? Like, if
I mean,
you're doing,
people are depressed.
I know, but like if you do that, like it should just send, I don't know, an alert to like the police station about you instead, and they should just come pick you up and throw you in an asylum or something. But anyway, when I went and saw Nosferatu, um, it's one of these movies that sometimes has subtitles when people are speaking other languages.
You just you
Even
didn't learn all the
I didn't learn all
languages.
the languages before. Well, I didn't learn all the languages because the whole movie, for the most part, not the whole movie, but a lot of it takes place in Germany. So I learned German beforehand so I would understand everything that was going on. But then it turned out all the parts where they would be speaking German, they were speaking English.
What the heck?
Yeah. And then I think like
Did they at
people were
least have a
speaking
German
maybe,
accent?
no, not even. A lot
What
of times they have English accents.
the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple of parts with, I think, maybe people speaking Romani, and that was subtitled.
Okay.
But the subtitles were cut off; they were not on the screen. And I guess
Pennsylvania,
somebody went.
man.
I know. I guess somebody went in there and told them to get their shit together. So I got to see them like kind of like cycle through the modes live during a movie.
Right.
And it was like, this is the same shit as like a PowerPoint projector. Like, there's no difference.
Yeah, what did you think? It was gonna be like a sexier thing?
I don't know. I expected it to be like something. I mean, why am I not just, buying a projector and watching things at home? I mean, I guess I am just watching a lot of things at home.
Yeah.
I guess I do have a 4K TV that I watch a lot of things on instead of going to a movie theater.
My TV has a big splotch in it, but I'm not gonna do anything about it.
Uh, did you punch the screen or something?
I probably hit into it at some point. Stumbled
Hmm.
drunk into it while screaming at somebody on the screen.
How old is your TV?
Uh, um, I want to say it's about 7 years old.
Yeah. I don't really know how long TVs are supposed to last anymore.
Yeah.
I so you like probably can't get it fixed.
Yeah, I should just probably buy a new one. Here's the
Yeah.
thing, Tom. Years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I got a Costco membership just so I could
Mm-hmm.
get this TV. Um, it was like the Costco variant of a Samsung TV. Um,
Right.
that like was on sale.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
that's
of
what I
course it
know
was
about
on
it.
sale. That's how you bought it.
So I bought it. But I mean, I could get like a much nicer TV, I think, for like $170, right?
Oh, nowadays? Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Should just do that. The other
Yeah, I mean,
thing is I got it. It's not mounted on my wall, but because I
uh-huh.
have a toddler, it's like attached to the wall. Like there's like
Yeah, yeah. So it
it's
can't
like
get pulled off
yeah,
like
I
the
don't.
stand.
Yeah, like you can't fall on it. Like first of all, like it's so light, it wouldn't even hurt him if it fell on him. But the other, I don't want to have to figure all that out. Detach this one from the wall, attach a new one to the wall.
It's, it sounds like that's the main reason. And the secondary reason you've come up with is, and it's so light it wouldn't even hurt him if it fell on it. If it
If it
fell on him.
fell, if a TV nowadays, a flat screen TV, like
Yeah.
it's not even a big one, fell on a 3-year-old, it would just snap in half, and the 3-year-old would walk away. Just
Yeah. I
sippy cup.
mean, it is like, as much as I want to make fun of you for this, like it is, yeah. TVs nowadays are just like flexible pieces of plastic.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for not making
Uh,
fun of me. Terrible parent.
there, just a guy that wants to get a new TV and doesn't want to have to figure out how to make it safe.
Tom, speaking of
Tim.
technology, oh,
Hmm.
do you want to go?
No, you go ahead.
The big tech news this year, the big product, took the world by
Hmm.
storm. Apple's Vision Pro came out and was
Yeah.
quickly adopted into every American household and became a phenomenon. We're all wearing these headsets.
You can't walk down the street without seeing dozens of people wearing them in their day-to-day lives.
Tom, let me ask you this as an Apple insider, as the
Uh-huh.
webmaster of appleinsider.com. Tom, let me ask you this question. Are they just gonna like abandon this? Are they gonna stop working on this and just be like, okay, nobody wants this?
I don't know. It is interesting because it's I don't know. Like, regardless of what anyone wants to say, it's a tremendous flop.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, who doesn't want to
yeah,
say this? Like Apple?
yeah, yeah. Well, Apple and like Apple fanboys and media and stuff. Um, just because like Apple's always had things that are ridiculously expensive, like just stupid expensive, but and as a result they're like a niche thing, like a high-end desktop computer that it's like, well, for 99% of people that's not a good option for you anyway. But it was
Or for the
still like
1%?
but for the 1%, I don't know. It's still like oh man, but like it's so cool. Like it's an aspirational product. And this, I feel like, isn't an aspirational product. And from what I can understand, it's not necessarily. I mean, of course, the fact that it's so expensive is a huge part. But the biggest part is that like it's just not comfortable to wear. And like
Yeah.
you're not gonna buy a thing that that hurts to wear all the time for $3,500 that like you can't even really do anything with.
See, yeah, that's the thing. I don't think people think it's like cool, even like, oh yeah, if it was really
Yeah.
light, and comfortable to wear, like, oh, imagine all the things I could do with this.
Yeah, when it seems like most of because they're really, I mean, it's Apple, so like Apple's always been weird about video games, but they seem to like be refusing to like want anyone to play video games on it, because I think they see that as like cheap and childish. And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, we're not like the Meta Quest. We're this, you get work done in this. And it's like nobody, but why the fuck would you want to do work in that? Why would you
Yeah.
want to put on a helmet to look at a spreadsheet and a web browser?
It just seems like all these guys. This is the same thing as when like Meta, Facebook or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
they went big into the metaverse, and the like Mark
Yeah.
Zuckerberg was like, "Hey, everybody who has been working from home and hating it and having to do everything remote because of the pandemic, don't you want your whole life to be this for the rest of your life?" And everybody's like,
Yeah.
"No, we don't." And like, I think Apple's like, "Hey, everyone," just as everyone's realizing, like, fuck, I gotta get off I'm on my phone all the time, and this is rotting my
Mhm.
brain. They're just like, "Hey, don't you want to strap a phone to your face all day, every day, and live in your phone?" And everyone's like, "No, I don't think I do. I want to not look at my phone anymore. Put one in
Yeah.
my eyes, you
Yeah. Well,
jackass."
and I think at least like Meta was smart enough to like pivot fairly quickly, um like away from the metaverse stuff, and like these Ray-Ban glasses that they have are pretty popular, and like those don't have a screen in them. Like it's kind of more about the people that like them say that it's that like what they use it for is basically talking to it, like telling it to either like take a picture or something or look something up that they're looking at, like they don't have to take their phone out. And even that, it's like, okay, that's neat, and that's like a niche product or whatever. Like that's not something everyone's ever going to be into, but that's fine. But I
Right.
think like Apple, they need to figure out what everybody's gonna have after an iPhone, and they have to take big swings. But like whatever this is, it's just, I don't know. There's just not a reason for it. People don't. I went and tried one. We did an episode about it, and
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, but I was like, this is better than my Meta Quest 2, but not that much better. And I just don't use it because it's hot and uncomfortable for long periods of time. And this is heavier and more uncomfortable.
Yeah, and even worse than that, they wouldn't let me stand in a part of the store that was completely empty at the Apple store, because that's where people would go to demo the Vision Pro, even though nobody was scheduled to do it and nobody was there, and the rest of the store was crowded, and I was waiting for something, and they made me move.
So it's just a personal thing for you. That's why you don't like it.
Well, also, I mean, I think that's pretty universal. I think everybody's on my side with this one. Like, why did they have to make Tim move that time?
It's also funny because like obviously this is like a big push, a big thing for them, a ton of marketing and everything, and that feels like 2 months later they were like, ah, fuck, everyone's doing AI, we gotta do AI real quick,
Yeah.
and they just
Well, that's
kind of
cool.
forgot about it and came out with these AI features that
Hey,
for the most part suck
2024,
shit.
the year of AI, right?
Yeah, I mean I'm always gonna remember 2024 as the year of Hawk Tuah.
Oh boy. Yeah. I love that Hawk too. You're still most of your money's wrapped up in that coin, right? The Hawk Tuah coin?
Yeah, I don't think of it as wrapped up in that coin. I think of most of my money is Hawk to a coin.
Right. Which you
Yeah.
believe will become the default world currency
Yeah, it's
any
just what
moment now.
what 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 you're going to use in your day-to-day transactions.
Yeah. Just like, it'll replace Bitcoin for what we all use as our day-to-day transactions for
Yeah,
totally
it's
legal
it's
things.
yeah, it's not nearly as funny to use Bitcoin, but it's very funny to use Hawk to a coin. So that is what I'll be using for my
Have you
transactions
ever
going forward.
have you ever bought anything with Bitcoin, Tom?
Have I ever bought
Oh,
anything with Bitcoin?
yeah,
Yeah,
are you gonna plead the fifth on what that is?
If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgte.com. You can check out our subreddit, our Discord. They're both available, linked from there. And check out our Patreon. Patreon.com/complete guide, where you get books of podcasts every week. This week, Tim finished a book and we watched a movie. We watched Here, the Robert Zemeckis movie starring Tom Hanks and Robin Wright. It's a Forrest Gump reunion.
I said Forrest Gump again. It's a Forrest Gump reunion.
It's a Forrest Gump reunion we've all been waiting for, and guess what? It's here. A real garbage movie. One of the worst movies I think I've seen.
Hey,
what?
The man made Back to the Future, Tom.
I know, so I know what he's capable of. But if you want to hear our full thoughts, patreon.com/complete guide. Tim, you have any parting thoughts for 2024?
No. Do you have any predictions for 2025?
Oh, predictions. I think that hippo Moo Dang's gonna not be as popular because the hippo's gonna get bigger. That. Yeah, It's gonna get bigger, and it's just gonna look like a regular hippo, and people aren't gonna like it as much.
Tom,
anymore.
As that hippo gets bigger, people's love for it is only gonna grow.
That, and I think also 2025, I'm calling it now, is going to be a brat summer.
See you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.